Susannah's Kitchen. I hope you're doing really well. If you're new here, then my name is Susannah and I'd love it if you would become one of my subscribers. On this channel, we make everything using the Ninja Foodi, and today's is a gorgeous sweet treat cake. This one is my coffee and walnuts, and this was actually requested by one of you for me to have a go at making one. So we're using steam bake and it comes out so moist and so fluffy, and we've got a nice coffee icing to go on top as well. I'm sure you're gonna like it, so don't forget to hit that like button for me. If you're new here and you don't know much about what I do, then head over to my website, which is www.susannahskitchen.uk. On there you can print all of my recipes and you can also buy a copy of my book. So let's get into making this lovely cake. So let's make this gorgeous coffee and walnut cake. To start with, I've got 175 grams of unsalted butter. You could use like a margarine if you want to. And then you want the same amount, so 175 again of golden caster sugar. Let's get that in my mixer and let's cream those together. You can obviously do this by hand if you want to. It's just a little bit quicker and easier if you've got a mixer. Meanwhile, I'm going to get a mug here and I'm going to crack in 3 eggs because that is going to be our next ingredient. My butter was at room temperature, so it makes it a lot quicker and easier. There you go, that's creaming together so fast. And we can just add 1 egg at a time. Whoops, let's slow that down a little bit. I'm going a little bit crazy there. Just mix that in. I will need to scrape the sides. I do find with my mixer, a lot of it gets stuck on the edges. But that's fine, we can go in with that in a second. And that is the 3rd egg in. So all I'm doing now is just scraping down the sides, just so we can make sure that all of that mixture is nicely combined in there. Not only lumps. There you go, look, you can see how much that needed that. And then just carry on mixing for a minute. Over here in my jug, I have got 3 tablespoons of coffee powder. This is an espresso powder. You can use any coffee you like in there. And I'm just going to dissolve that in some boiling water. So 2 tablespoons of boiling water straight from my kettle, roughly. And then give that a nice stir. My goodness, that smells incredible. And that is going to be ready to flavour our cake. We're back on the scales now, and we need 175 grams of self-raising flour. Just measure that in. Lovely, that's perfect. And then also some baking powder. And I want a teaspoon of baking powder. We can add in our coffee mixture straight in there. It smells so nice. I absolutely love the smell of coffee. Don't know many people that don't really. Lovely. And then the last ingredient is our walnuts, because it wouldn't be a coffee and walnut cake if not. And I've got 60 grams here, and I have just chopped those up pretty finely. Paddle down and let's mix that until we've got a delicious cake batter. Because we're going to be steam baking this, I've got 500 millilitres of water that's going to go in the bottom of the Ninja pot. So let's move my scales out the way and bring in our lined tin here. So I'm using the Ninja tin that comes with the bakeware set that I love. If you want a link to that, then just head over to my website. In the description below, there's a link to it. Or you can just go on to www.susannahskitchen.uk and you'll be able to purchase one of those through my link if you wish to. So there you go. I've got my gorgeous cake batter here ready. So let's get that straight in to our tin. Now I can lower that over the 500 millilitres of water that we've got in the bottom there. I like to always line my tin because I don't have to worry about it getting stuck. Get the lid down, and I want to go across to the middle section, which is combi steam, and I want to steam bake this cake. And I'm going to do that on 160. And I'm going to keep a very close eye on this. I'm going to go for 20 minutes and then see where we're at. It may take a bit longer, it could take 20 to 30 minutes. It's always a little bit deceiving with cakes when you're doing it using the steam, because you remember you've got that time that steam is building up, it is actually cooking. So I'm hoping 20 minutes is going to be about right for this cake. If you haven't used the steam bake before, you will get this, which means that it is preheating, it's building up the steam. The pressure valve is only used for pressure cooking, so you don't need to worry about that whatsoever. This is all you do. You just let it build up. It takes a bit of time, and then it will count down our 20 minutes. When you get towards the end of cooking, say like 15 minutes in, you can definitely open the lid and give it a check, because the steaming part will have been done way before then, and it'll be sort of baking, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'll see you in a while, see how good this turns out and where we're at with the bake and how long it actually takes. Whilst the cake is cooking, I thought I would make a start on my icing. Now I've got in here 200 grams of icing sugar, 100 grams of unsalted butter, which is soft, tablespoon of coffee, which has been dissolved in a tablespoon of hot water. And that is all you need, and all you've got to do is just mix this together. So it just takes a little bit of mixing. That will be our icing, and then we've got some extra walnuts to put on the top. So I've checked this a couple of times, and I'm now thinking this is done. So if I sort of insert it, I'm just checking that middle, because it always worries me, because when you use steam bake, quite often it looks cooked, but sometimes the middle isn't. Do you know what? I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that that is cooked. So 18 minutes is all it took. So I'm going to get that out, let it cool, and I'll come back. So here it is. I've topped it with some buttercream and also walnuts. It is just smelling so good, and the cake looks nice and moist. So we will cut in and have a look, and let's get a slice. So there we go. There is my coffee and walnut cake. That is beautifully light and moist. I think it looks pretty good.